Good morning. Welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 1612. I'm your host, Arwin. And before I start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That'll be much appreciated, and I can really still use the support, guys. Please don't hold back. Anyway, weather today is glorious. Look at this. It's pure blue sky, no cloud to be spotted anywhere, and I mean anywhere. This is one singular blue. There's a lot of wind though. Kind of started being windy more and more yesterday. But it cleared up pretty much in late evening. It was a kind of a clear skied night. Very interesting. Saw a lot of stars. Yeah, and this morning that basically just turned into this beautiful blue sky and sunny. But still windy. But it's been beautiful. Awesome weather. Plants are definitely enjoying themselves. Have to keep them watered. And I think it's probably a little warmer than it was yesterday as well. We'll check. Oh, come on. What's up with this cam? Whatever. Anyway. Hello, Dr. Utker, first in chat. Richard G, good to see you. Yeah, certainly another nice day over here. Let's check the temperature. It is, Friday the 26th of May 2023. Temperature it's 18 degrees. Seems warmer than that. Right. Oh, yeah, I think that let me check. Yeah. The wind is kind of cold. So I bet that behind windows it's really nice and warm, but yeah, out in the wind it is kind of cool. So the wind is a bit cold, but still it's very beautiful. It's like a very enervating type of day. That's what this is like when it's like this. Wind is cold, but it's very beautiful and bright, and you get very energized like that, I think. Right. Anyway, how are you guys doing? I'm doing pretty good, except I got a bit of a back issue. Lower back, and it's been slowly building towards that. I had like premonitions even last month, or what do you call it, premonition, like early fire up warning signals, like, oh, that might become an issue. And yes, it is, but I mean, it's not severe. I've not fallen through my back. I can still lift things. It's just that maneuvering becomes a little bit more difficult, and I have to be very careful with how I sit down, because if I don't sit down very specific, disciplined kind of way, I lock up. And then I need to like spend 2 minutes trying to straighten myself out when I stand up again. It's kind of annoying. But use Kersenbitten. Well, I don't know if heat is even that much of an issue. I mean, I am pretty warm. Yeah, I don't have one of those, by the way, but yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's not that bad even. I always have this, comes back periodically and all that. I've had this sort of thing like since I was 12 or something, or probably before that even. And like my dad has that type of issue too, and it's like not even getting that much worse when you're older. It's just like a temporary weakness, and then like you have to be really careful, or if it sneaks up on you, you suddenly go through your back. It happened last year. Was it last year or like earlier this year, where I went out on my bike and then suddenly like bang, and it took me like a week to get over that. So I mean, yeah, my back is fine, but I mean, I have to be careful with it overall. And then I can still do like, I can still be pretty damn flexible in the good moments, which is still basically the majority of time. Anyway, just your period, right? That's very funny. I don't have it like every month or something. That would be very annoying. It's more like roughly every 3 months or something. Well, nah, it's not even like that. It's like this complicated oscillation. Sometimes it's just a bit like but it's no issue at all. But it is a bit like and other times it's like, ooh, now it's like slight, almost feeble, and you have to be more careful. If you don't, then you're screwed. But that feeble type of thing, it usually happens around spring, but with a lot of different type of things in the body, with me at least. Been describing it all very elaborately on my shows. But yeah, usually during winter somewhere, it also tends to happen. But then with those cases, it's much more like related to overall emotional state. Because yeah, if you start to feel really shitty, then that basically starts to drain your overall bodily energy, you could say, and then your weaknesses start to pop up. And so in that sense, it can sort of happen as well, like that. Right. So I guess maybe more like twice a year or something. Yeah. I don't know. I'm always trying to figure out like the oscillations of issues with the body. Like, how does it work? When does it come back? What can you really expect as you grow older? So that you don't just like, oh, I'm getting older, everything's gonna be worse. It's like, yeah. Well, that's not a very healthy way of looking at it. So maybe just understand it better, like how it works, and then your mastery of it, what it is, the issues that you get, will help you basically even out or even surpass the difficulty curve of, well, getting older. Things getting heavier through smart anticipation. And that's kind of been my strategy for a long time. So I'm always trying to figure things out about what I'm going through. I'm very, very interested in my own issues, I know. But it's really out of necessity. It's just an effective tactic. I'm not like using it as an escapism or anything, because I don't want to deal with things. It's just a smart thing to do. Can you post technologically exploiting the loop? What? Can you pause it? Hello, antediluvian catharsis. Technologically exploiting the loop. Well, what kind of thing do you have in mind? I mean, the only thing that I could directly think of is, but is it even exploiting? It's just like, yeah, in a looping realm, you can theoretically build up insane speeds because you can keep traversing the loop without even having to evade that much. So, but I mean, to what end? What is that actually good for, other than just seeing if you can do that? Or was that not what you had in mind? I mean, you're gonna have to be a little bit more careful with your phrasing. Anyway, right, until you get to that point, antediluvian catharsis. Yesterday's flat earth debate was chaotic. Oh. Technologies that could come of it and be utilized. Well, I could think of like super high-tech, bizarre futurist things that could put. You could potentially like have a railway that crosses the loop, that through technology, like frictionless motion, could be made to be like insanely fast, so that you could warp around like almost instantaneous to another part of the rail. Like without getting squished from the acceleration. Something like, I don't know. It's very science fiction, but I mean that, yeah, sure. Like, what's the advancement of being able to build up insane speeds? Well, you could be somewhere very quickly. Like without blowing up. A high risk of blowing up. I don't know. Propel something. Right, but yeah, it's the advantage would be speed based, probably. Right. Close bullet. Yeah, something like that. Or you could like imagine it even more advanced and like yeah, it's almost like a UFO thing, except it's stuck in rails. It's like a UFO thing, a personal craft, and there would be many different rails because you couldn't really use other on the same rail. I mean, calamity risk would be extreme. And you could just step in those things like and just shoot off like almost instantaneous, and then zoop, stand still. Like those things can do that apparently. That's like in the UFO lore and all that. So hey, you could put that in a rail and then have almost instantaneous travel without any squishing happening. Anyway. Right. But I mean, yeah. Technological exploitation of the realm. The weird mechanics. I mean, yeah. It's not really exploitable all that much, to be fair. The best that it does is help you avoid like architectural errors. That's what it's really helpful for, knowing the realm, knowing what it is, so you don't make it based on a wrong thought and then end up screwing everything up when it's built. And I mean, the loop is not really... It's not like opening up this amazing thing that could be super exploited or anything. It's not like that. It's not like there's a jump gate somewhere. There's a wormhole. Like, no. It just happens to be interconnected like that, and it's surreal, and that's it. And it brings up a lot of questions about, yeah, but what is outside of that? Like, what's on the other side of the loop? I mean, that's gonna be the next thing that people are gonna bump into then. Like, oh, but what's on the other side of the loop? Yeah, we'll never know. How the hell would you ever find out? What are you gonna do about it? Right? The real big question for exploration, which would be like in the interest of Flat Earth, is really like, is there a barrier somewhere? I mean, I don't mean up there because, well, there would have to be, otherwise where would the gas pressure be, right? But is there a barrier somewhere? Where is it? And where isn't it? Right? That's the big question. Sphinx was the jump gate. Ooh, spooky. Right. Anyway, did you guys catch the Flat Earth debate? It was late, and there were, yeah, double misfire. But eventually we ended up streaming like way past think past 8 even. 8 p.m. Amsterdam time. So, yeah, Nathan had computer issues, but he did an update to his GPU. So it was like a hardware update. And that worked out. And usually when that's the case, it's all good. And he said that he wouldn't really tinker with it too much. I hope he really kept to that and didn't accidentally screw it up again. Because the update really did fix a lot of issues, he said. So, yeah, hopefully all that breaking down during the live show is gonna be over now. I got a good suspicion it will. I mean, a hardware update that immediately fixes things, that's always a good sign. That's usually when you should really leave it alone. That's in my personal experience. Software always wants to frickin' re-update, but when a hardware update presents itself, that's usually good. Like, unless it isn't good, and then you have to like reinstall the old the old driver and all that. But when it is, it's usually a real big help, and it typically fixes things. So that's my layman's experience with computers, because I'm definitely not a tinkerer like Nathan is. I'm just not interested in that. And in my everybody that's been doing that always ends up spending more money and even like burning out their computer by accident. So they basically break it. Well, I've never had that. Like, I run my computers for decades. And I even do like play 2 different video games while watching a stream. Right? I'll do all different kinds of things. It's like, it works great. Yeah, I might not be able to do that playing the most high-tech new game. But I mean, it's still like 3D stuff and all that. It's like decent graphics that are running. Multiple things, and it's like, yeah, no issue. It never crashes. It only really crashes during deep summer when it's like really hot, and then sometimes it's been like things don't. It sometimes then just breaks down, but it's obviously because of the heat. But that was, by the way, even with my previous computer, so I haven't really experienced that with this computer. It wasn't like that last summer. Or was it? Do you guys remember? Don't think so. I think the real heat issues were before that. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's gonna be good, and yeah, today supposedly we're gonna like review McKeegan again. Triangles McKeegan. So that should be hysterical. Second part. Looking forward to that. I hope it's actually gonna just be that. That will be great. Yeah. Define weight. Yeah, that was Flat Arthur. And he was like being really obsessive. And then eventually I just jumped in there, like when he was like up against Adam. Because he was just like too stuck on his own point, and he just didn't listen. Didn't care what we were saying. But yeah, it was an entertaining show yesterday, even though it was very late. Okay, well, I didn't like discuss it with Nathan, I think. But that should be, I mean, we should continue that. Hello, Brian Ametz. Right, so yeah, overall, yesterday was very enjoyable. It's an interesting show and everything. Owen Benjamin was also great. Kept me up late though. Was reviewing The Incredibles, one of those movies, and it was like, yeah, it had some really good, interesting perceptions in it. Right, so yeah, let's have a great day again today, especially with this weather. It's amazing. What time does that, Benjamin? Well, you can watch him live on DLive. That's just open for everybody. I watch it on unauthorized.tv, his website. I'm subscribed to that. It's not for free, but it's very well worth it. Although the DLive is very handy because that one actually gives a pop-up. So I use the DLive pop-up for when Owen Benjamin goes live to go to unauthorized.tv. It's actually quite convenient like that, because they don't have pop-ups that happen. As far as I know, I haven't really dug too deep into the settings. And if you don't want to watch it live, you can always check it out on BitChute. But he streams... what is it? 11 p.m. Amsterdam time usually, or like 11:30, yeah, around that time. That's where he streams. I used to do it earlier, around 7 p.m., but now he's changed that to 11. And to be fair, I'm not super happy about it because it's so late for me. It ends up always after like 1 o'clock and all that. Yeah, late night for me, that's right. But usually I am awake during that time. It's just that I have a lot less energy, and that's a bit of a bummer. I liked it much more when he streamed earlier because that's when I kind of peak in my energy. Well, not in the cohesion, but in the energy. Cohesion, I peak around this time. By the way, the whole Jim Bob thing with him is still grinding on. Like, I haven't even checked that out in a long time, but apparently, like, that shit's still running. Jim Bob is still just being a gamma about it, and Owen just keeps doing the same thing, referencing the same things But I mean, I can't believe that that's still just going like that. And I'm really glad that I stayed out of it mostly. Usually fast asleep by then. Oh, okay. Are you in England? Ah, right. Okay. Check this panel page. Whose panel page? You mean Jim Bob? Antediluvian, who are you talking about? Right. Please say that next time. This is in the sentence would be very helpful. Owen doesn't like people making gay jokes about him. Yeah, no shit. I mean, neither would I. It would really piss me off, that sort of shit. And there's been like real troll bastards in the past, though, like in the earlier days, that also did that shit with me and made like all these gross movies and all that shit. Horror movies and then sticking my face over it. Like really fucked up. Yeah, I don't like that either. And it's also like really gross that Jim Bob does that. I mean, he's now playing that crap. It's supposedly to make fun of Owen, but it's like, it's just really gross that you do that. The bear thing, you know. Yeah, well, screw that, the bear thing. Yeah, it's... Why don't you just stop letting gay people take words away from you? Yeah? Because they'll take everything until every fucking word you've ever heard of will mean gay. So why don't we just, like, screw that and stop letting everything mean gay? Because that's gay. Alright. Like, bears are not gay. Like a bear in the wild? You think that's gay? Anything gay about that? I don't think so. I mean, a man that would like to dress up like a bear in a bear costume, that could be argued to be gay, perhaps. But just bears gay, why? Because some gay people looked at some other gay people that were kind of fattish and had beards and shit, and they thought like, yeah, it's like a bear. Oh, really? Because gay people thought about other gay people and then it reminded them about something. And so now that something now means gay. Yeah, screw that! How about go fuck yourself and leave the words alone? Ah. Okay, I'm moving on to drama. Huh. You're asking, is he moving into the... I don't know. I haven't followed Jim Bob since that whole situation happened. I got kind of heated with him in the chat, and then he he completely spazzed on camera and just didn't recognize the error in the logic. Got really triggered, and so I was like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm not gonna sit through that. Like, that kind of weakness is like, you can't just settle. You have to overcome that. Like, admit to logic. And he wouldn't do it, so yeah, that was just like, I'm done. I was done with it. And I don't then go follow to see how somebody's crashing or whatever. I didn't do it with Ranty either, when that all happened, because roughly something like that happened with Ranty. He basically stepped out, got a super trollish, tried to really compete. He wanted to like overtake FED like that, and it didn't work. But yeah, I'm not gonna follow somebody when they do that. Right. It's devil's advocate? What are you talking about? Too much cocorico on these days. Okay. Right, but yeah, Antediluvian, I agree. You don't make gay jokes like that, because that's a serious accusation. By the way, so is accusing somebody of lying. Used to be extreme, like people used to engage in lethal duels over that sort of thing. To be publicly called a liar or gay is a very serious accusation. And like, if you didn't stand up against that with like maximum resolve, then you'd become like regarded as a weak parasite. Dueling prevents libel, indeed. Anyway. Hey LSG, good to see you. Right, I got a Illuminati croissant and bowl of greens too. Look forward to that, because yesterday I barely ate anything. I had a pizza like during FED, as I typically do. Like today I'm gonna get like baked eggs for a change. But yesterday I didn't have any dinner. Like literally nothing. I could have like got some prefab soup or anything, but I just didn't eat anything. I just felt like I want to fast, and it felt really good not eating too. Weird. But I think it is correlating with my back situation. I think I just need to have less. It's like my hunger is not calling me as much. Still I feel the hunger, but it's not like really like you really gotta eat. No, it's like it's all right. And I think it relates to just the regeneration process of my lower back. I think it does. Greens are of a brine. What? No, I do have pickles though. But that's not what I'm eating. I'm just eating baby leaves, so it's like green leaves of all different kinds. Like rucola, and this stuff, and this purple leaf. That's great. I mean, it's kind of bitter, some of it, but it's like it's really healthy. I can literally feel my brain activating and like windows opening up, clarity from that. Anyway, I'm gonna chow down on this. Hey, Steamy Traveler, good to see you. The Green Wind Show? Me eating greens? Yeah, a bit. Bears love beets? I bet they would. I mean, I like red beets. I like them a lot. But I don't like eat a lot of it though. But there's phases where it's like, yeah, you want that red beet. Like there's red beet juice, that's just great. Especially if it's really hot. If it's like a hot summer, red beet juice is great. But also like during the winter. Or at any other type of day where it's not super hot. Combined with like mashed potatoes and beef sausage. Some buttery gravy. With red beets alongside that, that's absolutely great. Ah. Bears beats back till Star Galactica. What? Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying your day. Hope you got as beautiful weather like this. What are you guys talking about? You guys seem to be having a lot of fun, but I don't get it. Scene from the TV show The Office. Okay. Yeah, I never really watched The Office, so to be fair, I couldn't stand it. I thought it was so incredibly annoying. Everybody loved it. I just thought it was really frickin' annoying. Like every part of it I thought was annoying. But maybe that's just me. Maybe it's because maybe it was too popular for me to think it's good. I don't know what that was. Just The Office and everybody thought it's funny, and I'm like, it's not frickin' funny. I don't think that's funny. It's just annoying and weakness and a bunch of bored out retarded people. Ugh. Yeah, well, I'm not with you on that, bad guy. Right, so I guess I'm not winning any popularity contests on that. But yeah, I don't know anything about the freaking Office. I hate this intro music. I hate the attention grabby guy that's supposedly the manager or whatever. I just can't stand it. I can't stand any of it. Must have forgot about Baywatch. I did actually watch Baywatch, but I was much younger then. That's a really silly series too. Like especially later on, and the follow-up series are like, there's a really goofy ass follow-up series. But yeah. Okay. What is the difference between a presupposition and a hypothesis? Well, a hypothesis is the scientific method. It's basically abiding by the scientific method. You have a phenomenon, and you can, through the hypothesis, very manipulate it in order to prove or disprove the entire scenario, the phenomenon, that it causes what you think it does. Right, a presupposition is nothing like that. Presupposition is just the assumption that it is in a certain way, and that because it is in that certain way, it explains certain observations. So inference based. You just assume it's like in a certain way, and then when you assume it, then the mechanics that you're dealing with fit in place. Like the ball. The ball religion is all presuppositional. It's all resting on presuppositions. The radius presupposition. The what is it? The size of Venus being the same as Earth and a certain distance. Those are presuppositions also, mechanics within it. Right? Because you're not proving anything, you're just assuming it. You're assuming a certain setting and then see if that works, if that keeps working. No, you can't test a presupposition. If you could, it wouldn't be a presupposition. It would either be correct or false. I mean, a hypothesis, you have to be able to test it, or it wouldn't be an effective hypothesis. Presupposition is just something you assume within the framework of your reasoning. And people that hold on to presuppositions, they hold on to it because they think that because the mechanics they're dealing with work when you presuppose, that legitimizes it as being proven. It isn't. Can hypothesis be assumed? No. Hypothesis has to abide by the cause and effect relationship mechanics and has to be representing an ability for the experimenter to vary manipulate the presumed cause. If it doesn't have that, then it's not a hypothesis. Can't just assume a hypothesis. Hey, Flatter Sage, good to see you. Wood Chipper 9000, hello. Confusing to you? It's only confusing because you're probably mixing up in your habit of using those words the colloquial use, the colloquial way people apply these words versus the scientific physics disciplined way of using them. That's very specific, right? Because people, for example, say hypothetically, which to them means I'm gonna represent a what if, a presuppositional statement. So what if this would happen? Well, that's technically not hypothesis based. But people just use the word like that because that's the colloquial use of it. It's very confusing like that. Right? People say theoretically, which means to them, oh, that's an idea, mechanic, that seems to work out, but it hasn't, like it works out logically or through the train of thinking or through your reasoning, but it hasn't actually been tested. That's theoretically in the colloquial sense, right? But in physics, you can't use it like that. Because theoretically, yeah, it's actually the opposite of what a theory is. A theory is a scientific hypothesis that has been validated. Which means it has been tested through the hypothesis. See? So it's actually, colloquially, it means kind of the opposite of what it does within physics, within science, how that works. It's just confusing, and I don't know anything to do about it. Right. Yeah, letter sage. I mean, of course, right? It's curved, but it's not perfectly curved, so whenever you see a black swan, it just means that in this particular area, it just happens to be very flat, right? It's locally flat. Because you can't really get to the spots where you could see the curve. Because if you did, well, it would look very flat, and that is probably a flat part of the irregularly curved Earth as well, right? I mean, just keep moving the bar, right? You can never stop a glober that wants to believe the globe from arguing how it is a globe, despite every piece of evidence you hand to them. And that's just a fact. That's how they operate. That's how they've always operated. I've been living through that for 8 years on a daily basis. It's how it works. And I mean, these chat AIs everywhere now. It's not just Chat GPT anymore. They're all woke and completely idiotic. So of course they're anti-flat earther fanatics. And they will be capable of making every single excuse perfectly timed. Because that's what it's been programmed to do. All these chat AIs are all globe tards. Full on retarded religious fanatical morons. Programmed to be maximum efficient morons. People already figured that out through the woke shit in there and political bias nonsense. Well, it's about this as well. It's globe-tarded, yeah? And no globe-tard's ever gonna complain about it. Because the AI actually gets that part. Well, at least it gets that part right. Yeah, people are that fucking retarded. They're that simple-minded. That's what they see. You a globe-tard, you think that part's actually, oh, well, at least it got that part right. Because you're a fucking retard. So you think that retarded things are actually the right thing. Because you don't figure it out. Huh? Okay, LSG, I didn't know that. Had another response to the show yesterday? Huh. I didn't see that pop up. Is my looping idea a hypothesis or a presupposition? Neither. It's a what is postulate. It's like what is. So it's not a hypothesis. There's no natural phenomenon that can be varied and manipulated. It's something that can be established to be or not to be. So it's not a presupposition either. Because you can definitely prove or disprove that it is looping. But it's still only a what is thing that you're doing. You're not actually varying and manipulating an effect. So you would say presupposition, but things that are presuppositions usually can not actually be proven. And that's then how they remain presuppositions. Because as soon as you're actually able to prove or disprove something that is being presupposed, then yeah, it's not really a presupposition anymore. It's just right or wrong then. Right? Unless you don't give recognition to said right or wrong, and then it remains your presupposition. Like ballers don't accept proof against the presupposition that the Earth is a ball. Like the black swan observation. They don't accept it. So it remains a presupposition to them. To us, it's just, yeah, you are presupposing that from your perspective, but it's just been disproven. It's over, and they just don't want to see it. right? So my looping conception of the realm can simply be correct or incorrect. And if I am going to describe something about how it would work in a looping mechanical realm, something specific about that, right? Things like non-space. Well, then I'd be presupposing that the Earth realm is looping and then working based upon the assumption of that. So I can go into descriptions about the looping realm, like deeper into it, where I am definitely presupposing it. Because I'm going ahead of something that I'm not capable of actually proving or disproving at the moment. Or like I haven't done it. I haven't been, I'm not out there actually measuring the equator. And nobody's come forward towards me with such data. Like, oh, look, it actually has been measured. Like, the exact orientation of the equator. This was the direct measuring result. Right? And that could instantly break or confirm my conception about looping. Right, but anyway, whenever I talk about it, about, oh, looping mechanics, what could it work? Like, oh, the potential realms beyond, and what if the loop widened up and suddenly more territory just appeared where there wasn't any before, in between, like it was always there. Well, when I talk about that, I'm definitely presupposing that the realm is looping. It's already assumed. Otherwise, there'd be no point to imagine those things. Right, so as soon as I'm just going to assume, or I'm definitely assuming whenever I'm arguing something that the realm is looping, then I'm presupposing it. Right? And I'm very well aware of that. Right, yeah, that's interesting though. I mean, if Dell wants to go on FED, that could be interesting. It's gonna be a mess though. It will be a mess. It's gonna be hurt feelings, guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Oh god. Anyway, thanks for that. I think I'll forward that to Skype. If I can get Skype to work. Skype is not working today for some reason. How bizarre. It's just a big white screen. Nothing. It's not even registering. This is weird. Anybody else having an issue with Skype? Density gradient disappearing when enclosed container is dropped. Yeah, sure. But what does that prove, though? I mean, what the point is what is he trying to prove? Right? If he's gonna try to prove doing that the Earth is accelerating up, he can do nothing but presuppose it. Right? He's presuppose. Oh yeah, why is the when you drop the coconut? Why is it the axis of the density within it temporarily is suspended? Why is that? Well, because the Earth is accelerating up to meet it. Well, that's a presupposition. You're not actually varying and manipulating the Earth accelerating up. You're just dropping a coconut. So it doesn't work. Right? It's just a presupposition. That's what it is. Right? I try to explain this on my dedicated streams to that subject. Why you can't vary and manipulate. Like why you can't actually prove the Earth is accelerating up within physics. You'd have to separate yourself from it. To have a separation of the reference frame. Like outside of the container. Yeah, you can't do that. So you can only ever drop things in the container and then imagine how the Earth is accelerating up to meet it. And it will always be a presupposition that you can never actually prove. And clearly Dell doesn't really care. I'm decently sure that he does actually check out, for example, my streams when I talk about such subjects, but or maybe he doesn't. Then yeah, well then he's gonna stay in the dark. If people don't follow my shows, then yeah, you don't get the updates. Skype works for you? Okay. Oh, it's acting really weird here. I might need to restart my computer. What the fuck? Okay. It's just a white box. It's nothing. It's doing nothing. It's weird. I think I have to restart my computer. Or maybe it's just not working today. I wonder why it's doing that. What? Sounded like what? Yeah, that's just the computer. That's just Windows. What you heard probably, if you heard that. Flat Earth is like a civil war lately? What do you mean, that bad guy? Right. Anyway, the point about the whole, you could drop a coconut, right? Oh, and then whatever's happening inside of it, oh, it's different. Well, it doesn't disprove or nullify relative density theory, because the coconut is still definitely denser than the air that surrounds it, and it is going down. Right? So the formula stands, right? Whatever is inside of the object is not really relevant. It's only relevant what the average density of the whole is in order to establish where it's going to go within the medium. FED versus Glowbusters versus Dell. That's whatever. I don't even know what Glowbusters are doing. I just know Witsit is out there and being the ether of the Pope of Ether and all that. But other than that, I have no idea what they're doing. Yeah, Liz-G, I know. I tried to point that out earlier, and I see, yeah, you've been trying to tell him as well. But I mean, he's just not. He's just stuck in this presuppositional idea, and it's like what physicists talk about with theory of relativity all the time. They always do that, and then they get all nonsensical and then wrap it around a globe, which makes absolutely no sense. And then they say like, oh yeah, and that's why it didn't really make any sense, because we're on a globe, and then what, it's all falling upward, and so the earth is expanding in all directions, blah. So all that nonsense. Always like, oh, you're jumping out of a building. Of course they use that example. Oh, when you jump out of a building, it's not really you falling to earth. It seems like for a second that the earth is rising to meet you. And it just feels like Dell's kind of stuck in that system. He's just like fascinated with it, and he thinks it's real. Can free fall be attained inside the vomit comet? Yes. Although not super steady. It's not a vacuum. There's still air. No, that doesn't. Is not relevant. The whole thing is falling, and it's going down faster than falling. So the whole object is already bypassing the air resistance because it's diving, it's going faster than just falling. Whatever is inside of it is not relevant to that. I wonder about that, by the way. Like, it's kind of silly, but what if you had like a transparent vacuum chamber that you took with you in the vomit comet, and then you like have objects in there that have a density, and would it then it would prove that if within a vacuum chamber, like with an object in there, if in a vomit comet it would actually also start to free float and not just stick down, that would definitely prove that the density axis is overall being neutralized. Tom Petty? What? What are you talking about, Steamy Traveler? What are you talking about? Why did you say that? Why are you just leaving that there and then saying nothing for 2 minutes, Steamy Traveler? What are you talking about? Oh, lyrics. Okay. Just hit you the other day? Oh, wow. Just hit you the other day, did it? Oh, okay, Godzilla. Well, I don't know any of that. So... Very well known. Yeah. In America. Oh, yeah, of course. It's very well known. In America. Yeah, America's not the entire world, dude. I've never heard of it. Whatever. Okay. Cool. Never heard of him, Godzilla. Never. But I don't know. Maybe I'd recognize the music or something, but I don't associate that with a name even. It's just like, oh, that's the music they were playing back then. At best. Yeah, I know that song. Was that him? Tom Petty. Okay, fine. I'm just terrible with names like that. Oh. Alright. Right, so yeah, sure, I know that. But it's not like they say his name every time I hear that. Right? So I had no idea that it was called Tom Petty, so whatever. I guess. But yeah, I mean, gotta say, I hear his music regularly, like on the Alex Jones show. They play it all the time. So yeah, I've gotten plenty to hear of that. Yeah, I don't know, Steamy Travel. I never really got back to it. Weight displacement. What is weight? There's no weight to displace. It is displacing the Kumo virus. That's the whole point. There's no weight to displace. No, there is, and it is displacing. Yeah, that stuff. It is displacing. Literally, in Euclidean space, it is displacing. It's moving. That's why you can have that axis of the density ordering itself shifting, because it is displacing. There's a force being subjected to it all because of the acceleration. You can't neutralize that without moving. During free fall, it is displaced. During free fall, it's displacing. It's falling. Yeah, you don't fall staying in the same position, now do you? It's not displaying weight. Well, from the perspective of being inside the medium, it doesn't. Displacing weight, not space. But how do you know? The whole thing is moving around differently within the space that you're watching. The whole displacement, you can even see it being there or not being there because you're looking at the space of it. You can see that it's moved within that space differently. And the whole thing, including you, would be moving within space. Volume, right? Not outer space. Volume here in Earth. Right here. Weight, not space. But the whole thing is moving. You're in the vomit comet. You're seeing something happening within it. Density tower might be in chaos. But you can't say it's just weight and buoyancy. The whole thing is moving. The whole thing is in motion. Yeah, but it's not actually weightlessness. You are falling. The whole thing is falling. Don't you get it? The whole thing is falling. you're falling with it. It just seems like there is no weight from within the reference frame of the plane. But the weight is definitely there and falling. The whole thing is. Right? I mean, seriously, it's like something. What Akumu virus is now saying is that something is falling because it has weight. But when it's falling, it doesn't have weight. Talk about basic contradiction, right? Oh, something's falling because it has weight. But when it's falling because it has weight, it has no weight. Doesn't seem very balanced. Not falling because of weight. Okay. Hey Richie, good to see you. That's not, yeah, to me too. Like, oh, it's falling. It has weight. That's why it's falling. I mean, duh, right? It's more dense and surrounding this equilibrium pressure. It's going to move in that direction, relative density, or weight, if you will. If you put it on the scale, it was going to register weight. Well, when the whole thing is in a plane and it's all diving, then from within the perspective, the reference frame of within the plane, it seems like it's just free floating. That's because the whole thing is accelerating down. So it is actually falling, it's just that the whole thing is falling. Right? Even like a density tower you'd bring with you, it would float freely in there because it's falling, like everything else. And even the gas in the enclosed airplane is falling with it, except it's being contained within the container of it. So it's not, can't evacuate, can't stay behind. So it's getting pushed along with it. Right? As the whole thing is falling, well, the density layers are not going to order themselves properly because the whole thing is falling. It's not like it is in this equilibrium. It is literally falling and the whole thing is trying to move, and that neutralizes the effective ordering of the density layers. So it stays in chaos. But the whole thing is falling. It does not negate relative density, because relative density, you do that in stationary realm. It's not moving. Yeah, the density tower should not be moving within when you check relative density, the experiment. So if you go all relative, like, oh, I'm in the vomit comet now. Oh, it looks like from my vantage point like it's all just floating freely. Yeah, but it isn't though, because the whole thing is moving downward. Right? So you're not going to debunk relative density with the vomit comet. It's another order. It's advanced relative density. It falls outside of the experiment and just looks at subphenomenon, like the axis of the density. How does it order itself? You can neutralize it. if you go in a vomit comet, you can neutralize that axis effect within that medium that's moving. Or if you go even faster, you could even reverse it, but that's not recommended. It's very dangerous and wouldn't last very long. But you're going double acceleration down to Earth if you do that. But you could literally, theoretically, if you'd achieve a setup to do that somehow without blowing up, you could demonstrate that you could have a upside down world temporarily in a system that's rushing down at incredible speeds, like ever increasing acceleration. It wouldn't last very long, the entire setup, but you can temporarily have everything be reversed. Is that really worth it? Not really, unless you just want to prove that, yeah, you can reverse the standard density axis that happens in the stationary realm. You can reverse it, you can counter it. Or you can accelerate horizontally and then make it shift to diagonal, how it orders itself. And that just happens, and it doesn't disprove relative density at all. It's just advanced mechanics. Coolfires just keeps asserting the same shit. My explanation is pretty solid. Isn't to disprove relative density. Sure, not disproving relative density, you're just asserting its gravity. That's fine. We know you do that. But I'm just trying to clear up relative density and advanced relative density, which is different. You don't do the relative density experiment in a accelerating or falling thing. Yeah, but insinuated. The words you were using were oriented in a very specific corner of reasoning. It's all fine. Don't worry about it. Right, I think I'm gonna run out show. It's getting a bit cold in here. What do I call it? What were we talking about? I mentioned it so you can add to your theory. I don't need to add to my theory. Advanced relative density is fully developed. There's nothing there you can add. It's developed. It's all out there. I did several shows on it. What? Okay, that's actually kind of funny, Steamy Traveler. But I mean, why would I put... Just because he came up in conversation, I should put his name in my title? Really? Yeah, maybe I'll just keep it without a title today. It was like a bit of everything and just a bit of talk about FED and computers situation, and I'm just gonna keep it like this, I think. Like nothing really gripping comes to mind. Although, yeah, Tom Petty in Freefall is a really funny title, though. I'll give you that, Steamy Traveler. It's just that it's kind of weird for me to use his name when I didn't like it. Wasn't the show wasn't about him. You just brought it up. Hmm. Now it's really silly. Now I'm just imagining Tom Petty. Is he still alive? Doing like a performance in the vomit comet. Floating around. He's dead? Ah, that's too bad. Yeah, anyway, I'm rounding out this silly show. At least it's nice weather and all that. Still nice weather. I'm seeing planes fly over. Oh, they are leaving trails though. What the fuck? Yeah, they're trying to ruin it. But it's gonna blow away again. I don't know why they keep doing that. Right. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogan's it up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be much appreciated. And yeah, that'll keep me going. So please keep the support coming, guys. Right. So I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 1613 on a Saturday, so it's going to be 2 p.m. Amsterdam time. And I'm going to join the Flat Earth debates over at Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, which already started up, I just noticed. A little early. Hope to see you there in chat. And until the next video, keep it flat.